Do you like matcha? Or do you just like being seen with one of them? Why is everyone's life looking the same? So is there such a thing as a desire that is actually yours? Maybe even your whole personality isn't so much you as you think. Welcome back to The Velvet Intellectual. I'm your host, Emma Martinez Arpstrand. I'm a journalist and writer, and I'm really into social behavior and research that backs it up. And today we're going to be talking about the mimic theory. So here's something that's been bothering me. You can walk into basically any coffee shop in the entire world and you can get a matcha. And they basically look the same. And you scroll on your phone and you get last year it was Labubu year. And there was even someone who placed a Labubu on Karl Marx's grave, which is like, capitalism has won. Let's just say that. Where does the trend end and where do I begin? I don't think a lot of us can actually answer that question. My point is here, it's the sameness. It's that a lot of us think that we have our own opinion and our own personal taste, but somehow we keep being attracted to the same objects, the same identical drinks, the same type of outfits. I mean, it's different, but it's the same depending on which type of group you identify with. We all have identity markers. You can't be working in Swedish media as a culture reporter in the summer and not wear Birkenstocks. That's fine. That's how we are. We want to belong to a group. It's nothing bad with that. It's just we lose something, don't we, when we end up mimicking each other. There's actually a French philosopher who explains this better than anyone. His name is René Girard. His argument in one sentence is that we don't actually know what we want. We look at other people and what they want, and then we want that too. And Girard put it like this. And now I'm gonna read, because this is a quote. Man is the creature who does not know what to desire. He turns to others in order to make up his mind. We desire what other people desire because we imitate their desire. He called out the belief that our desire is purely our own as a romantic lie. Romantic lie, that's such a genius way to put it. We like to think that we are the hero of our own story, that we are choosing freely. Girard says, not really. Desire isn't a straight line between you and the object. It's a triangle. It's you, another person, and the object. Boom, boom, boom. You want the thing because the model wants it. Take away the model, the other person, someone you admire maybe, someone you identify with, and half the time the object stops being desirable at all. I think this really applies also to dating. I'm sure we've all been there, you want someone and then that person starts wanting you back and then you're not interested anymore, which is totally, very immature behavior. I think it kind of relates to this. And this theory isn't some fringe theory, okay? Girard was inducted to the Académie Française, excuse my French, one of the highest honors in French intellectual life. Okay, so he's a big time guy. So is there such a thing as a desire that is actually yours? Girard's students have spent a lot of time on this question. And the most useful answer I have found comes from a writer named Luc Burgis, who wrote a book called Wanting and built directly on Girard's ideas. So Burgis makes a distinction between what he calls thin desire and thick desire. And thin desires are the ones that feels really big in the moment. They are contagious and they evaporate the second the crowd moves on to the next thing. Thick desires are different. They are the ones that have been with you for years, that slowly grows, that you probably still would want even if they were super unpopular. Burgess' actual test is roughly this. Would I still want this if no one ever found out I had it? To me, this is a really big one because I write books and I'm starting this podcast. Maybe no one cares, but I'm doing it because I like to. And I want to share these ideas and talk about them. Even if no one found out that I have written a book, I would still do it. So that's a thick desire. So try this test on your job, on your city, on your relationship status, on things you think you want, or the group that you want to belong to wants or have considered high status. I mean, like I said in the beginning, this is different for all types of in-groups that you see yourself belonging to. Some things will survive that question easily. A lot of things quietly don't. You don't need academic credentials to see this in action, because every algorithm feed you scroll is functionally a machine built so that you can see what other people want, so that you will want it too. It's not an accident. It's the entire business model, okay? And I used to work in social media for 10 years. So I've seen this, I've lived inside of the machine. I'm not going to sit here and say that I raise above this. Of course, I am very much a part of this as well. I mean, I'm a human being. I live online like most of us. And obviously, I get my ideas and inspirations from other people and from other things. Do I really want this because it's me? Or do I really want this because someone I admire has that? And I'm looking at magnesium spray with lavender scent because I saw some woman who seems to be having all her shit together have that as her daily or nightly routine before she goes to bed. She sprays some magnesium lavender spray on herself and then apparently has an awesome night's sleep. Now, I also want to have an awesome night's sleep. But this is so uncomfortable to admit, right? That's the thing. We want to seem like, yeah, I had this idea. Of course, I've always used magnesium spray with lavender scent to have an awesome night's sleep. Haven't you? I think like almost everyone who listens to this has a version of this. It's the bag, it's the water bottle, it's a plant, it's the exact shade of brown on your living room walls. We don't really choose most of our desires. They are honestly borrowed. And here's the part I find genuinely useful. Girard and Burgess are both pretty clear that mimicry is how most people learn. Language, skills, value, taste, it starts as imitation. The problem isn't that we imitate. The problem is when we stop noticing that we're doing it. We lose the ability to tell our actual taste apart from others. So how do you go about finding your own taste if you've been living like me so much online and you just get fed and fed and fed other people's desire? How do you find your own taste? I think this is also something to do that when we play with life, play how you want to look, play with how you want your home to feel like. So I've used a few tools for myself that I pulled from Burgess' work. Okay, first, name your model. Who do I picture having this? If you can instantly name a specific person, a specific type of account that you scroll through, that is useful information. It doesn't mean that the desire drops. It just means you know where it comes from, instead of mistaking it for something that welled up from nowhere. And second, the no one would ever know test, okay? Would you still want it in a world with no photos, no captions, no one to tell? And third, build in delay. I love this. I am so building in my delay era right now. So build in delay. That means that mimic desire, it thrives in speed. You see it, you want it, you buy it, you post it, like all within an hour. And thick desires, they survive 2-week wait. That is, why a lot of these like budget and economic people tell you like, wait 2 weeks until you buy that thing. So you really had a good thought about if you wanted it. It's because of this. If you still want it after 2 weeks, it's a very different kind of wanting. And fourth, spend deliberate time away from the algorithm, okay? Not forever, just enough regularly that your wanting has time to reset, so it isn't constantly being fed new models to imitate. Burgess actually recommends something as simple as a few days a year of silence. No music, no feed, just books or nothing at all. This sounds like a fucking dream vacation to me. Because then you'll be in an environment where thin desires have nothing to attach to. And maybe you will start, you know, hearing your own inner beat, your own inner wantings again. I'm not saying here that you should never fall into a trend again, or not buy that matcha or Adidas Samba or whatever is the popular thing at the moment, or feel guilty over it. And the point is never to be pure from these desires. The point is knowing which of your wants is actually yours. Because I think also now with internet, we're all so much the same and everything looks the same. Depending on what little bubble feed you're in, everyone's life starts to look the same. And that is not how we want to live as humans. And we have this small time on earth, and we should surround ourselves with the things that actually brings us joy. I mean, now I sound like Marie Kondo. I know, Kondo. Does it sparkle joy? So maybe in this day and age, the most rebellious thing you can do is to not give a fuck about what other people have. I actually saw this guy on Instagram, and he has like 2 pairs of legs from one of those like fake skeletons they have in school to show you how the skeleton looks. He had 2 of those like legs in his house because they made him happy, because they were quirky. And I thought like that's genius. That's awesome. We should all have like this weird stuff that makes us laugh, but maybe no one else gets it. Who cares? Just want something that nobody told you in the first place that you wanted. Okay? Don't be so scared of not fitting in. I'm sure you guys have a lot of these, like when you followed the trend and realized this was actually not for you at all. So can you please let me know in the comments? I would love to hear from you. Yeah, I have a feeling that the comment section there is going to be very, very relatable for all of us. So this is the Velvet Intellectual. If you have had any joy from this episode, please subscribe and share with a friend. I would be very much obliged if you did that, okay? And I'll see you again next Monday.